Good to go? All right. Hello and welcome, everyone. You sure are a lively bunch out there. Good afternoon. My name is Kellen Adams, and I would like to welcome you to the 2020 USD 413 Employee Reception, both to those of you here in the audience as well as those joining from home or wherever it is that you're watching live. I want to first start off by saying that we are very saddened by the fact that we cannot conduct this important ceremony in the traditional manner that we typically have. We realize fully how important this event is and want to apologize to the families and colleagues of those being recognized today that you are unable to attend in person. Please note that in addition to the live stream via YouTube, that this ceremony will be recorded and archived onto the USD 413 YouTube channel immediately for future viewing. Before we begin, I want to address just a few details regarding today. In an effort to comply with CDC and KDHE guidelines, we have only permitted those who are being recognized to be in our auditorium today. Additionally, those who are providing introductions are patiently awaiting backstage. And yes, all that are involved are complying with proper social distancing expectations. So many thanks to all of you for the space that you've given between each other. Our schedule for the day will begin with our Years of Service Awards to my right, followed by recognition of our retirees from the district to my left, and then we'll culminate with you all and everybody that's been waiting for the presentation of the Deb Cummings Award. I would ask that each person as each person is introduced, that they make their way across the stage to pick up their gift from the district on the table below. We would then ask for you to take a pause to take a picture, and for each group before calling up to the next group. Again, abiding by that 6-foot rule. We've assembled some plants for those groups as you take your picture. So with that, let's begin first with our Years of Service Award. Up first are two recipients of the University of Kansas School of Education 25 Years of Service Award. Each recipient will be receiving a framed certificate signed by both the Chancellor and the Dean of Education from the University of Kansas. Those recipients are as follows. Middle School Counselor Jennifer Embody. And our second recipient, high school instructor Tracy Walker. Thanks to both of those educators for 25 years of great service. We will now move into the Years of Service Award. These are given at 10-year increments for years of service within our district. For those with both 10 years of service, they will receive a silver apple. Those with 20 years of service will receive a red apple. And those with 30 years of service will receive a golden apple, as each apple comes with a base and a custom engraved nameplate for each recipient. Let's meet those individuals. In our 10-year Silver Apple group, the first individual is Deborah Jones. And I don't think, was Deborah able to join us? Nope, okay. Moving on, the second individual, elementary teacher Lindsay Peter. Also in our 10-year group, elementary teacher Suzanne Ramsey. I don't believe she's able to be with us today, but also in the 10-year group, Jill Rutledge. And rounding out our 10-year group, from our kitchen staff, Connie Vance. We would like to say thank you to each of those individuals for 10 years of great service with USD 413. Moving on now to our 20-year group. In the Red Apple group are two individuals that have spent 20 years with USD 413. The first individual is Bob Cummings from the maintenance department. Does not look like Bob is here. The second individual, high school instructor, Stacy Henson. Thank you to both of those individuals for 20 great years of service with USD 413. Into our 30-year group now. This is the Golden Apple group. Two individuals in this one as well. The first of which is Linda Udine. I don't think we see Linda today, is that correct? Okay. And the second individual, elementary teacher Cheryl Methvin. Thank you to both of those individuals for 30 amazing years in USD 413. For 2020, we did not have anybody in the 40 or 50-year category. We would now like to move to a very special group and take some time to honor our 4 retirees from the district this year. Each retiree has spent significant time in the district, and we truly wish to thank them for their years of service with USD 413. Each retiree will receive an engraved plaque, retirement watch, and a lifetime activities pass to USD 413 events. I'd like to read to you what's found on the teacher plaque. To honor your career in teaching, for dedicating your life to the art and science of teaching, for practicing your profession with compassion and dignity, and for holding the well-being of your students as your primary concern always. On the non-teaching plaque, to honor your career in education, by word and deed, your presence has enriched the lives of students and served as an example for all. Each retiree has a short snippet that has been compiled on their behalf that we will now have introduced by their principal or supervisor. I would like to first introduce Mr. Don Epps, the middle school principal at RMS. Mr. Epps.
Hello. It's such a great honor to honor such a wonderful person. No words that I can say can give her the justice she deserves. So I'm going to allow her peers, her friends, her mentors to do that for her. The first passage to honor Heidi Bolt. I've known Heidi since coming to Chanute in 2008. From that time until present, I have become very close to Heidi. She's not only a great PLC leader, a great teacher, great chess coach, but she's also a great friend. Now, don't think she hasn't had some interesting things happen in all those years. One of the recent stories that comes to mind is when a student stuck a pencil in an electrical outlet. Oh, I remember that. Yes, I do. I was there. Obviously, you don't think about middle school students needing to remind them of that, but they are middle school. Oh, the memories. I do remember that. Great times. But everybody was safe, and now it's a fond memory. Everyone's safe. I know that there are many more stories. However, I can't always remember what happened yesterday. So I can tell you that Heidi and I have shared happy, funny moments, some sad and angry ones. She's always been there to listen and offer advice, and she's always been there for her. I will definitely miss her good mornings as soon as she gets to school. Sometimes a little late, not under my watch. So anyway, our before school conference visits, venting, and our PLC time. Heidi is definitely a one-of-a-kind educator who will truly be missed at RMS, and her will truly be missed in our RMS family, and especially by me. Love you, Heidi. Enjoy your retirement. That's from anonymous source. We'll call her Sandy E. Many years ago, my daughter was struggling with some scary health concerns. Heidi came to visit me, and in that supportive conversation, she shared a small framed quote about persevering through hard times. Someone had given this to Heidi when she had her own health issues, and now it's became her mission to spread those supportive words to someone else. It meant a great deal to me. A couple years later, I was able to pass that frame on to another member of our Oyster family, continuing Heidi's string of kindness, love, and care and support. This story exemplifies Heidi's legacy. She has always been someone to cry with, to laugh with, and to pray with. That person and friend who is there when you need them for anything. So besides Heidi is going to be a super amazing So besides Heidi being a super amazing teacher, I'll always remember her supportive, kind heart, that she was there for anyone who might need her. And the last honoring statement comes this way. I've known Heidi for over 20 years. Since becoming a teacher, she has impacted many lives, not only through teaching the mathematics, but also teaching the middle school kids life lessons and preparing them for high school. Heidi's always tried to spice things up in the classroom. Oh, I know. And would successfully show the kids that math can be fun. I know everyone will agree with me by saying thank you to Heidi and for all the years she has served us at Royster Middle School. She'll be greatly missed. Heidi has had such an impact in me in these last 2 years. I've often told Heidi, there's no way it's fair that it's been 2 years with you in the educational setting. But trust me, sister, you got me for life now. Okay, I know where you live. And you're going to be such a positive influence, and this is only one chapter. But I have so many great stories about Heidi. I'm going to keep it limited to 2, because instead of me rambling on, I'm going to tell the facts. I went to interview at Royster, and apparently I had a very spirited interview with the teachers, with the teacher group. And when I left the interview room, I think Heidi questioned if is he really that way? I'm like, is that this guy for real? And I said, oh, okay. And so I never knew that. And so probably about September of my first year, which was last September, she came into my office, smiled, and she says, "You really are." I said, "What am I really? You're really a genuine dork. You're really who you said you are." I mean, like, I've never been so honored to be called a genuine dork. And so later on, when my book comes out called Genuine Dork, Chasing Greatness, she gets all the credit for that. And so then, but not knowing this is going to be our actual last week in the building, you know, going back before spring break, she celebrated, I think, her 64th parent-teacher conference. And at the end, she ended it in style by doing a cartwheel. And you can never stop a good person. This is only one chapter. My heart's with you. We love you. And there's no one who can replace you, but your legacy is going to live on forever. And you're always going to be part of our Royster family. Thank you. We practiced an air hug from 6 feet. Let's see how it worked out.
I think I speak for everybody when I say thank you to Mrs. Heidi Bolt for 23 great years at Royster Middle School. Mrs. Bolt, thank you. Introducing our next retiree from the elementary school is Mr. Eric Hoops, elementary principal.
Good afternoon. It's my honor, my privilege this afternoon to say a few words about Miss Cindy Hinkle. Miss Cindy Hinkle has served USD 413 for 22 years. During this time, she taught second grade at Hutton for 2 years, third grade at Murray Hill, looping up to fourth grade, giving fourth grade a shot for 1 year, and then went straight back to third grade. I'm sure there is a story there, Miss Hinkle. She then moved to Chanute Elementary School to teach third grade and has taught fifth grade the last 3 years that I have been at Chanute Elementary School. Cindy's favorite memories of USD 413 include planning and completing grade level activities. One of her fondest memories is Mrs. Hinkle and Julie Thompson had a math sleepover when she first started teaching third grade at Murray Hill. Again, there were no additional details added to that story. While at CES, she has had Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Kansas Day rotations that the students certainly have enjoyed. When I asked a couple staff members to respond and say some words about Mrs. Hinkle, they responded this way. So from Mrs. Wire, assistant principal, had this to say about Cindy. I observed Cindy being a great friend and teammate to all of her fifth grade colleagues. She is so kind and so generous and always had a smile on her face. She genuinely cares about others and would do anything for them. And from Miss Abby Hughes, fifth grade teacher at CES, had this to say. Cindy has been a blessing to our fifth grade team. I don't remember a day that I wasn't greeted by Cindy without a smile and a, "How are you?" She has such a big heart and a wonderful attitude and is tremendously positive. She is our note taker for PLC meetings, so I'm really going to miss that. I will miss her a lot. We have been in the same building since our Murray Hill days. She will always be a part of my school family. Cindy, we thank you for the time, effort, and energy that you have given to USD 413 staff and students, and we wish you the best of luck moving forward.
How about one more round of applause for 22 great years of service? Thank you, Mrs. Hinkle. Introducing our third retiree today is our Director of Food Service, Mrs. Terry Jo Markham.
Okay. This is for Dave Ports. Dependable, kind, gentle, thoughtful, inspirational, strong, creative, giving, caring, hardworking. These are just a few words that come to mind when we think of Dave. Dave Port started for USD 413 in 2005. Sorry, Dave, at the age of 66. Most people are retiring at that age, not taking on a full-time job. Dave has never shied away from work. He's one of the hardest working people I know. And believe me, his job is not easy. Although he makes lifting all the heavy boxes and equipment look easy, I've done his job when he had to be off. It took both Pat Somerville and I together to get the job done for the first day. Yes, at 81 years old, he can outwork both of us ladies. This was before a lift was installed, and the job was extremely hard to do. Dave makes my day when he calls to see if I need anything, time-sensitive, done each morning. I will miss those morning calls. I could go on and on about how hard of a worker Dave is, and a great team player, always helping out at each kitchen when needed. But did you know in Dave's spare time, he makes wooden toys for kids? These are fully functioning wooden toys. It's amazing the craftsmanship that goes into these toys. Some of which he donates to the church camp auction to raise money for that camp. When anyone is having a bad day, Dave always has encouraging words for them. He calls everyone kid, regardless of their age, when he greets the kitchen staff each day. Dave always strives to make everyone's day better in any way that he can. I know I'm not doing you justice by this, Dave, but we're going to miss you. And when I think of the words, in God's hands, I always see Dave's hands. So big, so strong, but gentle. Thank you, Dave, for your years. Dave took a little bit of a spill a couple weeks ago, so he's still kind of feeling the effects of it. Normally, he's faster than most of us in the kitchen.
Ladies and gentlemen, 15 years with the food service department within the district, Mr. David Ports. Thank you so much, Mr. Ports, for all you've done. Introducing our final retiree for the evening is high school principal, Mr. Brian Campbell.
All right, it's my honor to stand up here and talk about such a great man. However, the speech provided to me was not written by me. It was provided by Mr. David Cadwalder. So picture as you will, this is post-COVID David after he's put on a little bit of extra pounds, or a lot of bit of extra pounds. So this is in his voice. I stand before you to honor my fellow faculty member, fellow high school social studies department member, fellow world history teacher, and my friend of 17 years. I've missed having Mr. Woodyard as a teacher by just a couple of years, so I've always known him as just Wayne. His students, current and former, will tell you his real name, however, is Sergeant Woodyard, Sarge, or Platoon Daddy. Since moving to the new building, I've always had a room next to Sarge. I've learned to relish the first few weeks of school. Sure, it's the beginning of a new year, fresh faces, fresh ideas, and all that. However, more importantly, there's a certain music that comes from Sergeant Woodyard's room for the first week of school. Though it's not perfectly audible through the wall, you can hear his song, businesslike male voice, shouting commands as a number of nervous, cracking, adolescent voices sing in response, "Yes, sir." This happens periodically the first week, and at least once, I usually have to stop my own lesson and listen for a moment, while my students quizzically, sometimes nervously, exchange glances as well as listen to the proceedings. Every once in a while, someone will wonder aloud, "Are they all right over there?" To which I always reply with a shrug and a chuckle. Mr. Woodyard is an institution, and I mean that in a good way. Even if kids have never had him, they know who he is. They know the littering, hat-wearing, horseplay, cussing, and generally squirrely behavior will not be tolerated. If you give Mr. Woodyard a mission, whether he likes it or not, he is going to follow those orders. He will follow through with a minimal complaint and maximum resolve. The kids don't begrudge him for that either. For years he has taught social studies, mainly world history and American history, to kids that, well, have an affinity for providing challenges in a traditional school setting. Mr. Woodyard is consistent, fair, loving, and as reliable as a person has the right to be. Students know that they can rely on him to bust their butts when needed and a joke when they've earned the right. Though I've never told him, I recall overhearing a new foster student on his first day complaining about some old guy that made me do such and such in the hall. Based on the description of the encounter, I knew it was Wayne. So did the kid that he was talking to. I immediately interrupted the young man and said, "Hey, have a little respect. That old guy is one of our best teachers and my best friend." The kid was also complaining. The kid he was complaining to just nodded in agreement, and the troubled youth walked off. I noticed a couple weeks later, the same individual joking with Mr. Woodyard in the hallway. That's what's so cool about what we do, and more specifically about Wayne. He always had high expectations for his students, and they love him for it. As a coach, he's left his mark as well. We have to thank him for inaugurating the formation of our cross-country team. Before the cross-country team, I remember listening with disgust as he would brag about the miles he ran each day just for fun. I was glad he could finally put that ridiculous fitness commitment to work for the betterment of our youth and the better lives he has. Whether keeping pace with adolescents that would otherwise be running wild and driving like the likes of young Dustin Fox and company to the tennis tournaments, Wayne has shared in both academic and athletic lives of a few thousand Chanute youngsters. My final anecdote, and the most painful one to share, involves my own niece. She was part of the first graduating class at the new high school. She had Mr. Woodyard her sophomore year and at the old school and just raved about him all the time. He was her favorite teacher that year. In my pride and arrogance, I promised her that she'd like my class even more when she was a senior. Well, she eventually made it to my class and actually struggled a bit. I was surprised. I had asked her what was going on, but she clearly didn't want to hurt my feelings, so she just said that the material was too difficult. By the end of the year, it was obvious that she hadn't loved social studies with me as a teacher. So the next year, she was home from college visiting, and in a moment of inspired stupidity, I asked her, now that she had time to process, who her favorite social studies teacher had been while she was in high school. A few months of college had done nothing for her tact, but everything for her forthrightness. Without a moment's hesitation, she blurted out, "Mr. Woodyard." I wasn't surprised at that point, but I did still want to know why. Or so I thought I did. What followed was a litany of ways that he was superior to me. I finally had to stop her with the reassurance that I'd gotten the message. Her birthday presents and my pride have never fully recovered. In summation, Wayne will be missed greatly. I've been teaching long enough to see all but one of my former teachers and few colleagues retire. Though they are always great teachers waiting in the wings, with their own strengths, no one will ever feel the void the same way. Wayne created a Wayne-shaped space in the CHS universe. The new guy or gal will create a new space, and it'll probably be great, but I'll always see the empty space with Wayne-shaped outline. God bless and keep you, Sergeant Woodyard.
Ladies and gentlemen, 22 great years of service at CHS. Mr. Wayne Woodyard. This wraps up our retiree portion of the ceremony. I just want to say thank you on behalf of the administration and Board of Education to each of those four individuals for your years of service, collectively just under 100 years. We wish you well in the next stage and the next steps of your life. With that, we would like to move on to our final portion of this evening's ceremony. which is the much anticipated Deborah Cummings Award. The Deborah Cummings Award is a very special one to the USD 413 community. I'd like to start off by telling you a little bit about Deborah Cummings. Debbie, as she was commonly known, worked for USD 413 for over 22 years. She started in the kitchen at Hutton Elementary School, became the cashier, and with her final position being in the district as the kitchen manager at Chanute Elementary. She was a friendly face to all, students, staff, and her crew. Furthermore, she took great pride in feeding the students of Chanute and was very dedicated to her craft. Her students' first attitude needed to be embodied by her staff as well. And as I understand it from those who have told me, if she did not feel that an applicant would have a student's first attitude, they would simply not be a part of her team. In the last year of Debbie's career, she was unfortunately diagnosed with terminal cancer. The illness took a toll, but she never wanted to quit coming to work. After a hospital stay, she went to half days so that she could still see her kids daily. Her dedication was very admirable and appreciated by many. That attitude was what inspired the creation of the Deborah Cummings Award each spring. On the award is the following. This award goes to any USD 413 employee, regardless of position, who displays the qualities that Debbie embodied while she was part of the Chanute School District family. A nominee should be a person who exhibits all the qualities that good employees should have. Strong work, ethic, genuine care for students, a good coworker, positive attitude, desire to improve the district, helpful, and supportive. As you can see, this award is very special and very prestigious and does not go to just anyone. With that said, we are very honored to present this award to a long-standing staple within our district. In fact, this employee has worked for USD 413 for 43 years. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to present to you the 2020 Deb Cummings Award, Mrs. Pat Somerville. The plaque that Pat is now holding has each of the past year's recipients, and just a few days ago, now has her name permanently engraved as the 2020 recipient. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, our 2020 Deb Cummings Award winner, Pat Somerville. In closing, I wish to first say how very sorry we are that we could not conduct today's ceremony in the fashion we would have wanted. This is again a reminder that today's presentation will be archived permanently on the USD 413 YouTube channel for anyone that was not able to watch live. On behalf of the Board of Education and Administration of the District, I wish to say thank you to all who are recognized today. We are aware, but we will never fully understand the sacrifice that each one of you has made in your personal and professional lives in order to provide the years of service to our students of USD 413. Our staff and students are better because of each one of you. Many thanks for all you have done, and again, we wish you well as you either move into the summer or on to the next stage of your life. Thank you again for taking the time today to support your family members or your colleagues. We know that this means a lot to them, and I know that they wish you would have been here with them. With that, we ask that you have a great evening, and thank you for watching.